Good day, folks, and welcome to review number 67. So, after a brief hiatus dealing with work issues and traveling with family, I am back with a look at the Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Kickback. So, starting off looking at the packaging, we see that Kickback comes packaged in robot mode on a pretty standard Transformers Generations style card back now, with the large CGI image of Kickback up here at the top and the gridded pattern in the background. The backside of the packaging features images of Kickback in robot and bug mode, as well as the short bio paragraph up here at the top and his tech specs running across the bottom. So here we have Kickback in his robot mode, and he looks pretty sharp. I like the purple and gold colors real well on him. Overall, I mean, he looks like an Insecticon. Especially you've got kind of a mix of continuities kind of going on. The face is very reminiscent of the Transformers Prime Insecticons, but yet you've got these antennae that are reminiscent of G1 Kickback. So you've got a kind of a mix of stuff going on here. But anyway, articulation. He's got swivel and hinged shoulders. He's got a ball jointed elbow there. He's got a wrist swivel. There's no real waist articulation, but ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, knees there. There's got a full ball jointed ankle there. So he's very articulated. Head's also ball jointed there too. So overall, the robot mode, I think he's a great looking, great articulated figure. There is one thing I do want to point out about his head here. It's these antennae. The antennae are made out of a rubberized plastic, and they're very thin. But mine are also, you can tell they're not quite straight. They're not parallel to each other. They're kind of deformed. So this figure right now is hard enough to find, so it's kind of hard to be picky on him. But it's one issue that you can notice right away when you're looking at the figure. Kickback comes with a few accessories here. You've got his wing pieces, which they attach to him when he's in bug mode. Then you have this gun and a disc, and this is kind of a disc launcher here. Pop the disc in like this, and then basically just shoot it out like that. So, but the other kind of cool thing, again, I've said this before, I've never played Fall of Cybertron. I've only played a little bit of War for Cybertron, so I'm not too familiar with the game, but I've heard that he has a drone in the game, and you can peg the wings into the bug mode here to create that drone. But the other thing I noticed, when you do have the wings plugged into it and you're looking at it, it almost looks like a G1 Kickback in his bug mode. It's very reminiscent to it, or at least of a grasshopper or locust flying. So that's pretty cool that you can have his weapon be kind of another character as well. So let's move on to Kickback's transformation. Now, there is some very interesting design work that went into Kickback's transformation process. In particular, I find it neat that you have to basically split the toy in half during the transformation process. And this basically is to allow the head to swing from one side of the torso to the other and end up where his crotch used to be. I suppose that could be useful in more ways than one. But anyway, there are a few problems I find with this design. First, I really don't like the way the front bug legs swing around. They don't snap into place, and really because of this, they tend to get in the way of the transformation. Also, for what they are, I think the back legs are too complicated. There are a number of little joints and turns that you need to move to get the legs to match the photos of this figure. However, when you get to that change, there's really very minor change in appearance. And to add to this frustration, the instructions aren't much help, which is why you need to refer to the photos. But overall, I find the transformation starts off very interesting, but finishes with a thud. So now here we have Kickback in his bug mode, and it's kind of a hot mess, really. Because of the fact that things don't tab together well, things don't hold in place well. He's just kind of all over the place. Like this leg here doesn't want to stay in, so he keeps wanting to kind of lean to the side. Yeah, and even then, when it is to where it's supposed to be, it just doesn't look good, at least in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, as an insect, I think this design falls flat. The Fall of Cybertron Kickback has a gorgeous color scheme and looks absolutely fantastic in its robot mode. But this is exactly where I will leave him. While the transformation is kind of interesting, I tend to get more frustrated with it as I get closer to bug mode. And once I do have that semblance of a bug in front of me, I'm not really happy with his final look. So, in the end, Kickback is a cool robot, but not really a necessity in my collection.